Hey, what's up internet, it's John here, aka Nudie, and I've been meaning to talk to you about two awesome cars that I've had the pleasure of driving during the god-awful pandemic. The Honda E and the Tesla Model 3 Performance. I leased these two cars and I've been driving them daily for about 16 months, so I'm pretty well qualified to comment on them. But today I want to zero in on the Honda E, and in the tradition of YouTube car videos, let's look at 3 things I love about this car and 3 things that I hate. First off, let's use the phone key to take this hot mess for a spin. Okay, let's use the old-fashioned key fob instead to take this car for a drive. Welcome inside the Honda E. Did you know that the E was short for E? What the f***'s that car? As you've probably seen on a million other YouTube videos, the interior of the E is an interesting place to be, and it's both my first love and, plot twist, my first hate. Love 1, the interior. So we've got a range of textures and materials and colours going on here. Some look and feel great. For example, the fake wood looks convincingly woody. It's attractive, homely, and breaks up the dash, obviously paying homage to the dawn of electric cars, the Tesla Model 3. The seat material feels really comfortable, it looks good, and it's really hard wearing. Yes, it might not be leather, but it integrates really well with the interior and contributes to that homely vibe, lightening up the cabin. Finally, the switch gear in the cabin. It feels pretty good, it's responsive and feels high quality. The drive selector buttons, for example, are nicely located and easy to use. Compared with things like the BMW i3 notch selector and the Tesla Model 3 stalk, I must admit to quite liking the E. You can really quickly change between the drive modes, and that tactile engagement with different buttons tickles the part of your brain that used to be responsible for managing gear changes with the gear stick. It helps you feel a bit more connected to the car. Hate number 1. The interior. So the interior is quirky and I really love some bits, but there's some parts which really irritate me. The plastic mirror enclosures. Why did they use such god-awful plastic screen enclosures? They wouldn't seem out of place in a 1980s computer. They're obnoxiously plastic with stupidly thick bezels, and they really detract from the effort that's gone into the rest of the cabin. I hate them. I'd love to know why Honda used these. Were they an afterthought or a design compromise? Did you run out of money and opt for the cheapest options, Honda? Please enlighten us in the comments, Honda reps. Another thing that I hate about this car is the goddamned manual seats. Look, we're living in the future, it's 2021, and this car costs almost £30,000. Maybe I've been spoiled by the insanely good Tesla Model 3 seats, which are fully electrically adjustable and have an infinite number of memory options. Or maybe it's just that Honda cheaped out and couldn't be bothered to prioritise the comfort of the driver for the sake of £200 worth of parts and a few kilograms. The manual seat adjustment in this car belongs in the past, not 2020, I'm talking about 1970. I grew up being driven around by my parents in a mini metro, and the seat adjustment in this modern £30,000 yellow spaceship is only marginally better than a mini metro. Just listen to the sound of that. Okay, enough hate, let's talk about something that I truly love, and that's the look of this car. Category is Pikachu to Vauxhall Nova. This car looks like a child's drawing of an epic, cool, fun car, except it's been made and you can actually buy and drive it in real life now. This is a concept car where the concept was to make a tasteful boy racer spaceship from the future. The ultra fun, uber futuristic headlights never ever get old, and the curves and angles of the car are really a joy to behold from any angle or point of view. The monochromatic look is stunning in day and night. And I frankly think this car is a piece of art that happens to have 4 wheels and be capable of transporting you from A to B. It's a pleasure to look at, and it brings a little burst of happiness every time that I see it. Hate 2, the rear view camera mirror mess. Hey man, wouldn't it be cool if we make all mirrors cameras and screens? No, it wouldn't. It takes a perceptible length of time for your eyes to adjust to the rear view camera mirror screen. Not only does it make looking at the video monitor a little uncomfortable, it delays your recognition of objects and risks from the rear and forces you to take your eyes off the road as your vision adjusts to the screen and then readjusts back to the road. The rear view camera mirror monitor setup is messy, ill-conceived and gimmicky. The screen's needlessly complex, it gets really hot all the time, and the actual resolution isn't that great. It also doesn't hold up that well in low visibility conditions. Overall, it sounds great on paper, but in real life it's total. Love number 3, the handling characteristics of this car. This car is a pleasure to drive, a pleasure to drive. It feels wonderfully weighted, both in terms of feeling planted on the road and feeling well balanced. It's sporty and agile thanks to that electric motor, the insane turning circle and the petite proportions, but it's got enough EV torque to tear around and have some real fun. The steering feels tuned for comfort, but that's not to say it feels floaty by any means. It feels appropriately darty and direct, and the combination of that steering, the driving position, and the EV power really inspire confidence and encourage playful driving. Whether you choose to drive in an aggressively playful way, making progress and hooning through traffic, or taking a more chilled approach, the car adapts to your style without the need to change modes or tweak settings. It really feels like Honda put a lot of time and effort into the driving characteristics of this little EV, and it pays off big time because it's a real pleasure to drive. Hate number 3, the infotainment system. Look, I'm not going to beat about the bush here. This is one of the worst infotainment systems I've ever used. Laggy, check. Terrible user interface, check. Incomprehensibly organised, check. Infuriating to use every single day, check. The whole thing looks like really early beta software. Unrefined, laggy, poor graphics and text, and lots of terrible menus. It's really a chore to use and absolutely spoils the futurism and refinement of the interior, given that it's been beamed across all the screens. Thankfully, the operation of things like the reversing camera and the aircon aren't impacted by the terrible software, but if you want to adjust anything more complex like the charging settings or the tyre pressure settings, you need to set aside 30 minutes and have a copy of the manual handy because it's a nightmare. Unfortunately, the software awfulness extends to the free smartphone app that's available. While it allows you to control many elements of the car, including using your phone as a digital key, it is painfully slow, prone to errors and downtime, and desperately inconvenient and cumbersome to use. It often takes minutes to pull information relating to the charging state or remaining battery, and it regularly reports old statuses regarding the security of the car, sometimes, for example, saying that windows are down or the doors are unlocked when they're not. The digital key works about half of the time, and the steps to actually use it on a daily basis add at least 90 seconds to every journey. By way of comparison, I also drive a Tesla Model 3. I rarely ever have to look at my phone to use the Tesla. I just walk up, the car opens instantly, I get in, type in a PIN, and it's ready to drive. The Honda offers the exact opposite experience. A couple of years ago, I rented a BMW i3 from a company called EVZ, and now called Onto, and I had it for several months. With that rental, you never got a physical car key. You were only ever able to use your phone, and initially that was quite anxiety-provoking, but within a few weeks it felt really normal. EVZ Onto are a small British company. They nailed the use of a phone app to wholly control multiple different brands of EVs, not just one car but a whole fleet. Additionally, their tech support was fantastic, and in several months of daily use I only experienced a single time when the app failed and I had to restart my phone. With that exception, the execution performance in daily use was flawless. In comparison, Honda, a multi-billion-dollar global car specialist, has one of the worst apps and user experiences available. Why is it so laggy? Why does it fail so consistently? Why is it an abomination to use that I would only want to use either as a novelty or if I wanted to hate myself? Thankfully, the dire software isn't a complete deal breaker, as you can make use of Apple CarPlay to override the Honda infotainment system. CarPlay looks and responds as if it was created in a different dimension compared to the Honda system. Hopefully, Honda will spend some time and money improving the infotainment software. Bonus love number 4, the sound. I'd like to end with a final bonus thing that I really love about the E. It's the sound. I'm not talking about the well-equipped stereo, I'm talking about the noise that the car generates when it's driving at low speed to warn pedestrians. It sounds like a spaceship symphony in a good way, a futuristic synthesizer wafting towards you on a binary zephyr, a unique, intriguing and calming sound that really does alert people of the car's presence, but does so in a warm and friendly way. It doesn't sound mechanical, which is one of the things that I really love about the sound. Yes, it's a bit of a statement car that grabs attention, but it's got real heart. The driving characteristics, the styling and the sound all have a real soul and personality, and that is the most interesting thing about this car. Yes, there are things about it that are hateful and annoying, but ultimately this is a car which is extremely easy to anthropomorphisize because it looks like it has personality and it feels like it too. That's not to say that it imposes that personality on you. It feels friendly and fun in all respects. And while I really love the Tesla Model 3 Performance, it's a machine. It's exceptionally good at what it does, but it feels quite clinical and staid. The Honda E literally and metaphorically has much softer edges that help you forge a connection with the car that makes for a much more pleasurable driving experience. Thanks for watching. I promise I'll be making more videos over the coming weeks, but if you've got any questions or comments about the Honda E, or you want to know more about the Tesla Model 3 Performance, please shout them out in the comments and I will make videos addressing them over the coming weeks. Stay safe out there. See you soon.